We're going to send 2 arrows down range, and we're going to talk about what is the difference of these two. Okay, that is in the dot. Now we're going to send one more. Okay. All right, you can see huge difference, but is there really that big of a huge difference? So I'm going to show you what the difference in these 2 arrows were. One arrow was a 340 spine, one arrow was a 300 spine. These arrows are built identical length, lighted nocks, fletching configuration. They both have 50 grains in the front, 100 grain broadheads. However, one of these arrows weighs 436, the other one weighs 35 grains more. That doesn't seem like a lot, but you can see downrange, and we're standing here at 60 yards, which I think is an attainable number for a lot of people that are maybe Western hunters. 60 yards isn't a shot that's overly long. But this shows an important variation in just what that spine does. Spine is the stiffness of this arrow and how that arrow is reacting to the bow that is launching it. But the spine with an Easton, a 300, is stiffer than a 340. They're so close together. However, there's a big difference in the weight, because one arrow has more carbon as a radius all the way around. It's going to be a little bit thicker if it's stiffer. So those few grains, a lot of people don't think that just a slight variation like that is going to have that big of an impact, but it certainly does. That's why there's just this constant debate on speed, arrow weight, all these things. But what's important to me is that every arrow in your quiver is the same. Now I'm using a bow right now that's actually a perfect example of making a choice on these arrows right now, because I'm shooting a weight that is right between those 2 spines, because I haven't gone over 70 pounds yet. I'm in the mid 60s. So I can either shoot a 340 or a 300. And I've seen people that one year shot a 300, they went to a shop, all they had was 340s in stock. So they just get a 340 and go out there not recognizing that there is a difference in weight. There's a difference in the reaction of that spine, or how that arrow is flexing, to the weight of your bow. And if you're on that fringe, you might still have great accuracy, but the height difference is definitely going to be off. And this is a good example, because I could technically shoot either one of these, and one is certainly faster, which is telling me that I would have a much faster bow, I'd have tighter pin gaps, those things there. However, that choice for me, putting that arrow in the 435, a little bit light for my liking. So I'm going with the arrow that you've been seeing me use a lot. I'm using that 300 spine, and I will shoot a bow poundage that gives me the accuracy results that I want. So make sure you're paying attention to what's in your quiver. Those little numbers add up big time and can end up costing you on a hunt if you don't know the difference between what one arrow does versus the other.